Welcome YouTube. I'm Anthony Melchiori, and today we will be discussing 3 money mistakes I see a lot of financially uneducated people make. The mistakes we'll be discussing are huge issues, and it's so simple to fix. It's amazing how many people have these problems. But the fact is, school doesn't teach you this, and if your parents or a role model don't follow these rules, where are you going to pick it up from? So that's why I'm here to help you guys out today, to lead you on a path where you will never have to make these mistakes and you'll be financially successful and stable in the future. So let's get right into it. So the first mistake I see a lot of people making, especially young adults who aren't financially stable yet, is that they don't have any type of savings or they're living above their means. Unfortunately, most of these people are young adults without a solid source of income and a huge amount of debt behind them. As soon as they do find an extra source of income, they tend to pay the bare minimum on debt and spend all their extra money on unnecessary needs. That's just, you can't live that way. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're spending all your extra money on food, new phones, new sneakers, new clothing, high-end accessories. These things aren't going to bring you wealth. They're going to bring you down. The first thing you should be doing with your money is paying yourself. I suggest the minimum you pay yourself is 10%. If you're living paycheck to paycheck right now, you're doing something wrong. And you're not going to survive that way. You will fail if you live paycheck to paycheck. If you can't afford to pay yourself 10% at the very least, you either need to find a new job, work another job, or cut down on your expenses. If you can't party every weekend, that's what's going to happen. If you need to work a few extra hours a week, that's what's got to happen. But you need to be paying yourself and you need to be creating some type of savings for yourself. You're going to need this money in the future. Just because you see other people your age living with lavish goods or driving the newest car, having the newest phone, doesn't mean you need to do it. You don't know the struggles or the profits they're going through. Their parents could be paying for all their bills. You don't know what's happening. So don't try and keep up with people you don't know or don't mean anything to you. You don't need to flaunt success to be successful. So the first thing I want you guys to do after watching this video is make an income and expense list and see what your profit is. See how much you're taking in. And if you're going negative, then you know something's wrong because it's basically telling you're going to be homeless soon. You have to have some type of extra income. And I want you to pay at least the bare minimum 10% to yourself. If you could do more than that, that's great. You're going to have a bigger jump. But the younger you are and the more you could put into yourself now, the better you will be. So now you know you need to be saving at least 10% of your income. You need to be making up some type of stash or funds to build and have. This backs you up. This is called FU money. You know what I mean? When you have money and savings that you don't have to take shit from no one. Excuse my language. If one day your boss just comes in and starts snapping and mouthing off and stuff and you just can't stand your job anymore, you have money now. You can say, you know what? F you, bro. I'm out of here. Okay? So that's just a pro of this. But another issue I see a lot of people doing is when they do start to make this little FU money or they start having this little savings, this little nest, whatever you want to call it, they don't do anything with it. They put it in a bank account and let it sit there. Which, this isn't a horrible thing. This isn't like the worst thing you could do. I'd rather you put money in a bank account and let it sit there versus not have any money to put anywhere, you know what I mean? But having FU money is fun and all, but you need to be doing something with it. Now, really quick, there is a difference between an emergency savings and letting your money sit there. Emergency savings are crucial, very, very crucial, especially if you have people relying on you. If you have children, if you have a wife, your parents rely on you. Even if you rely on yourself, if you don't have a significant other who could carry your falls or help you up when you're down, emergency savings is that teammate, is that person who has your back. When things go wrong, it's going to help you out. So I know a lot of financial gurus or books tell you to have at least 6 months saved. And I get why they say that. I mean, I could tell you to have 5 years saved. It's a great thing, but it's hard to get to that point, especially if you're going from living paycheck to paycheck to looking to have a 6 month savings in no time. It's not going to happen. It's very difficult to achieve that. It's possible, but very difficult. So I always recommend just getting that 1 month down, where if you lost your job and you just needed to go work part-time somewhere or go get a minimum wage job, that savings will help pay off your first month's rent while you get back on your feet, or your car payment, or whatever payments you need. That will cover you. The bigger your family, the bigger the savings needs to be. If you're just on your own, just start with the goal of 1 month savings. Once you get that 1 month savings, you're going to leave it in your emergency fund. I don't care where it is. You could put it in a bank. You could put it in a safe at home. You could put it under your mattress. That is not to be touched. Even if you lose your job, if you could find a part-time job just to work and pay things off, you do not touch that emergency savings. This isn't rainy day money. This isn't vacation money. This isn't I'm bored, I'm going to go to the strip club money. This is an emergency savings. Don't touch it. Act like it's not there. Even if you're struggling, act like it's not there. Forget about it. Do not touch this money. This could save your life one day. So just leave it alone. So now you'll still be paying yourself 10%, and you have your little nest egg. You have your little emergency savings. What now? What do you do with that extra 10%? You're not just going to put it back into your emergency savings. You're not just going to put it into a bank account and sit. That's not going to do anything for you. This is one of the most popular things I see people do, which is just plain wrong. I mean, it's not like against the law. It's not going to kill you. It's not worse than, like I said, not having any money. But letting your money sit in a bank account or in your house or in a safe is a waste of time. That's like having a clone and letting him sit in your room and play video games while you work. It's dumb. It's simply dumb. It's not wrong, but it's dumb. There are so many better things you could be doing with that money. The most important thing you could use your money to do is work for you. The way I think of money is, I think of each dollar as like a soldier. So you know what? You built that dollar up. You built that to $100. You got 100 soldiers, all right? I mean, you're not gonna win a war. You're not gonna win a fight, but you're safe now. You got some type of protection. But when you go out to the club and you buy that $15 drink, you just lost 15 soldiers. Think about it. Is it worth it or not? And what you're gonna do with those soldiers or those workers, or you're gonna make them work for you. Send them out, have them make money. You have to think about it a certain way. Like, let's say if you're making 3% with that. Now that you're saving your 10% and you have your emergency fund, what are you gonna do with the extra money, you're gonna ask? You're not gonna let it sit there. That's a waste of time. I don't care if it's in the bank. I don't care if it's under your bed. It's dumb. If you had a clone, if you could clone yourself, if you had an extra clone sitting right next to you right now, are you going to say, all right, I'm going to go to work while my clone here, Aunt number 2, is going to sit at home and play video games all day while I'm slaving away at work? No, that's not fair. That's dumb, We're both going to work. We're both going to hustle. It's going to make both of our lives better, If we hustle now, it's going to work in the future. So think about that money as your clone. Use that money to work for you. Use that money to make money for you. Don't let it sit there and slowly age away. If you let your money sit in a bank account, in a savings account, it's not doing anything. I think the biggest savings account I saw was like 1% or like 0.90% interest. And you couldn't touch it like after you put it in for like 3 months or something. It's nothing. I mean, to people who don't know, they're like, "Oh, look, I'm getting a little interest on it. Oh, that's cool, whatever." But it's not the most efficient way of what you could use with that extra 10% you're making. So this is going to lead me into my next point. What you're going to do with that money you're making after you have your little savings account and after you've been paying yourself 10% for a couple of months. The last money mistake I see a ton of people do are not buying assets. They don't use their money to make money. There's a saying I say, like when I talk to some of my friends, it's guns and butter. I'm sure people have heard that. I didn't make that up. But we cut out the butter already. And number one, we cut out the expenses. We're not buying butter. We're not buying all of that flash that isn't substantial. That clothing that once you purchase it off the shelves, it just devalues it. We're not buying any of that. We cut out the butter. But now, with all that extra money, we need to buy the guns. The guns are what is going to build us. It's what's going to defend us. It's what's going to help us. That's what's going to get us that FU money. So what assets are doing is simple. They're using your money to make you money. Think of each dollar as a worker. If you have $100 and they're working all day, all night, you have to sleep. You have to eat. Your money doesn't. Now, they might not work as hard as you or make as much as you do per hour, but they don't stop working. And all those little dollars are doing, or all those little workers are doing, are they're recruiting others. So when you're sleeping and eating or in the bathroom or out having fun with friends, those guys are just compounding, just making more of themselves and inviting their friends over, you know? They're working for you. That's why an asset is important. Think about it. Right now, you cut out all your expenses. So you're making a little bit of money. You made that money into a safe nest. Now that nest, you're good. If something were to happen, worst comes to worst, you lose your job, you lose your car, you get kicked out of your apartment, you're not stressing. Your life doesn't crumble into debt. You have a nest that it's like, all right, this happened, but I could get out of it. I'm good. I have a month's time. I could find another job in a month. I could pay off my car in a month. You're good. And now all that extra money, you're putting to work for you. So it's almost like you're becoming a boss. You know how the boss sits on his ass and gets his workers to work and he just feeds on the income that they make for him? That's what you're doing with your money. Your assets are going to work for you, get you money, and it's going to make your life better. So when you're sleeping at night in 10 years, the dollar you save today will still be working for you 10 years from now. Still be making that money. But by that time, it'll have a lot more friends, so they'll be working twice as hard, 3 times as hard. I'm going to give you a few examples of some assets I use. I'm not going to go into huge detail just for the fact that I could make that into another video. But just so you have some ideas of what you could look for, what you could do or start today, I'll give you a few right off the bat. So the first thing, I think the easiest one, and this is actually how I started, the first one I would suggest is a robo-investor. There's so many out there. I personally use Wealthfront, but you could use a company called Betterment. I'm sure Vanguard has one. Charles Schwab probably has one. But what these do, it's almost like paying an investor, but it's a robot. You pay it so little. I think I pay 0.15% of my total account that I have. So it's nothing, you know. And what it does is it'll ask you a series of questions. It'll look into your age, your income, how much savings you have, what other type of investments you have, and it'll give you a risk factor. Now, I have a high risk factor because I'm young. I have a good savings, I have a good income. So for me, it's like they could just try and make me as much money as possible, and if you know what, if the stock market or the economy goes down a little bit, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm not going to withdraw my money and put myself in financial debt. So it's going to ask you these questions just to see what you can handle, and then it's going to invest all your money for you. I believe in the last 2 years I have an average, I believe my average rate of return was about 18%. Now, not everyone could expect that. Like I said, I have the highest risk factor. I also have been involved in an amazing time. Like 2017 has been an amazing time for the economy. Ask any stock investor, broker, anyone who knows anything about money, ask them. 2017 has been a go. You know, there's money in the streets now. So I'm not expecting the same thing to happen next year, but there still will be a profit and I still will make money off of my money. So that's the easiest way. If you don't know anything and you just want to get straight into it, look up Wealthfront, look up Betterment. I'll put a link in the description below so you could go check out those sites. And I believe they work the first $10,000 for free for you. And I know they did it a long time ago. I don't know if they're still doing it, but if you go through my link, I believe you'll get $15,000 off. But I'll look into that. I'll write it in the description below. Another option is peer-to-peer lending. I do this one as well. This is when you basically give your money, or you're lending your money. So you're acting as a bank in this one. You're lending your money to people who need to borrow the money, take out a loan, but all the interest is getting paid to you. You usually do this in small increments. So if someone's taking out a $10,000 loan, you're not giving them the whole $10,000. You're giving them $20 or $40, and you're covering it with multiple people. So this helps with the risk factor. So in case for some reason one note fails, you're not losing tens of thousands of dollars. You're losing $20 at most, you know? I'm having my greatest success with this one where it comes to, I believe I'm making a 20% return. I do use a certain I do use certain requirements to which notes I pick, and I have a robo investor do that as well. I could do that in another video, but the average return on those websites, which is Prosper and Lending Club, I believe are 7%, so you could look into that. That's a great one if you don't really know what you're doing, because it gives you grades on how safe the investment is. I do a lot of D's, E's, and F's, which are like the lowest grades you could get, but that's why I'm getting such a high rate of return. But if you want to do something safe where there's like no chance of you losing your money, you would be investing in A's and B's. So that's an easy way to get a better rate of return than letting your money sit for you, a quick asset. Another one that everyone has heard about or knows is investing in stocks. This is just everyone knows it, everyone has heard of it. The issue with stocks is it's a lot more difficult than the other ones I suggested. You need to actually, I would suggest taking a course or reading a book on it, learning, practicing, but that could be the most lucrative. It could also be the most dangerous. I'm having a phenomenal year. Like I said, 2017 has been great for me. 2016 was great for me with stocks. I also took classes before I got into stocks. I also read books. I also looked on Udemy and took like a challenge class with it. So I have tons of experience before going into it, which is why I believe I'm doing well. But I wouldn't suggest anyone just watching this video just to go open up a trading account and start buying stocks, because you'll be in for a bad time if you don't know what you're doing. If you are really, really, really into this idea and you want to make money, you want money to work for you, and you want to like stack up, stocks is the best way to do it. But this won't be as passive as the other ones. This will take time, research, and dedication. And with the bigger risk, there's a bigger reward. So that's why I saved that one for last. I wouldn't suggest first timers going straight into that. But hey, if you have the extra money and this is something you want to look into, do it. Now, obviously, there's a ton of more assets or ways to make money with your money around, but I just want to give you a few quick ones that anyone could get into today. I will be making more videos specifically on assets and all different types of investing, but if you have any more information you're looking for, so obviously there's a lot more assets than the 3 or 4 I named today. So obviously there's a lot more assets than the 3 I just named. These are just great, easy ones that anyone could get into and anyone could start today. If you want any one of these, you could just go online, sign up, and start making money with it. So that's why I gave you those. But if you have more information, scratch that. Obviously, there's a lot more assets and ways to make money with your money than the 3 I just described. I did talk about those because they're so easy to just start up today and start making money. Any one of those you could sign up. It would take probably like 10 to 15 minutes and you're good to go. I will be making another video on more ways to acquire money with money and another asset video. But in the meantime, if you are interested in this idea and you want to learn more, I learned everything I know from, I learned everything that I started with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki. This is a great book. This is one of the newer ones. The original one I had was on Kindle, but you could get this on Amazon for, my girlfriend actually bought it for me. I believe she said she got it for like $5. $5 for an investment that will help you out for a lifetime of wealth and knowledge is definitely worth it for me. I'll try and leave a plug down in the description. But yeah, check that book out. Alright guys, I hope I was able to help you learn something today about some money mistakes I see a lot of people do. Obviously, if there's any questions, you can feel free to message me or leave a comment below and I would love to help. If you have any ideas of what you want for my next video, leave a comment below. If you liked it and it helped you, click like. And I'll be seeing you guys soon. I hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving. And have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, expenses and income. Make that list. Check it twice. Catch you guys later.